Greetings, guys. Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is June 12th. Andrew McCutchen hits Bucko home run number 241 yesterday and passed the great one, Roberto Clemente, to stand alone with the third most homers in Pittsburgh Pirates history. And also, the Bucs won a series along the way. We're just going to start it with this.
The pitch. Drive to left center field. Sanoa going back to the track, looking up, and it is gone! There it is! Andrew McCutchen in third place, all by himself. Only Stargell and Kiner ahead of Andrew McCutchen on the all-time Pirates home run list. 241. A historical moment at PNC Park.
Absolutely love it. Andrew McCutchen, home run number 241 as a Bucko, 325 of his career. Anytime you pass someone like Roberto Clemente in anything, it's something special. And so that's what Cutch did today, or yesterday, rather, at PNC Park. It helped push the Bucs to a win. A series win against the Marlins at the time made it 4-0. They'd win 5-2. And so it was even a big one. You'll go all the way back to June 17th, 2009 in Minnesota for McCutchen's first homer as a Pirate off of Francisco Liriano, actually. I think a lot of people know that, but yesterday's home run off Cal Quantrill. And, what can you say? What can you say? It's history. It's
another little piece of history, and I was part of it somehow, some way. Now I want to hit the 50-50.
The guy who got the ball that was stuck under the bench was a gem, just absolute gem. Just too good. Just too good. Oh, it was a little piece of history.
Another little piece of history, It
is awesome, though. I mean, obviously, we're all big fans of McCutchen. If you're not a big fan of McCutchen, I don't know. I mean, I've never met you. I don't understand. So this is a big number. I think sometimes we forget. Some people forget when they see a lot of stuff about this, that the guy has 325 home runs now on his career. Putting together a great career. If he never gets traded, he's number 2 on this list. Then again, if Kiner doesn't, I'm not sure what his number is either, because he played for a couple teams after that. But either way, this is as far as he'll make it, I would imagine. I mean, he's not going to hit 62 home runs in the show again. So I would just take too long, I think. I think it's pretty safe to say. So he'll finish number 3 in the franchise in home runs. He's probably going to have his name or number retired. He's going to be in the Pirates Hall of Fame. There's no question about those kind of things. I think he's maybe a World Series championship away from having a statue outside the stadium. I know they kind of brought that up during the broadcast and talked about that a little bit. I think he's a World Series championship away from that. And what I mean by that is not that he's still going to win one, but that maybe he just missed out on that. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, depends on how we change the way that we look at that. I mean, he meant a lot to this organization, certainly in a time where you're at 20 straight losing seasons, and he not only gets you over the hump in the losing season, but the wild card game and all that was special, and he was the biggest part of all of that. And so I think it means something. But without that World Series championship, I don't know how far I go with that, right? And you could say some of those things about McCutchen and even the Baseball Hall of Fame, MVP, Silver Sluggers, All-Star appearances, a Gold Glove, and he didn't get the World Series. Now, that hasn't held some guys back. I mean, Ernie Banks, I don't think ever even played in the postseason at all. So it's not something that holds guys back, but it's going to be interesting when his career is said and done. What he's added to the WAR numbers and to the just all the career counting stats and everything, to see where he lands on that. I think in Pittsburgh, it's less of a deal. I mean, he's going to be loved here. He's going to be a Hall of Famer in Pittsburgh, and I think that's really important. Really great moment for Andrew McCutchen and for the organization. He's one of the good guys, and it couldn't be a better guy to be here and to do this. So I'm excited. I thought it was awesome. I got to be honest with you. I was on a work call, and I'm in the middle of trying to explain something to a vendor. We have, and I'm trying to go through and explain whatever it was. It's totally irrelevant. Doesn't matter. And I'm watching my phone, and he hits this home run, and I'm just trying to keep my composure throughout this explanation. It was kind of difficult. I made it through, obviously. And no, that was just funny because I was pumped. I wanted to pump the fist. I wanted to give it one of the Office Let's Goes. Do you guys know what the Office Let's Go is? It's quieter. It's a let's go, real quiet. Anyway, kudos Cutch. Home run, Bucko home run, number 241, number 3 on the all-time list. Absolutely love it. Hey, the Pirates won another series. They're playing better baseball right now. The slug showing up just barely. We talked about it a couple days ago, and we get another home run today. 3-run homer for Cutch. Kind of really seals the deal very early. They would end up with just 2 runs. That 3-run homer was enough to get past it. There was some heads up base running by Ke'Bryan Hayes to get the first run. You could say kind of forced the miss up the middle by the infielder, but also just, trying to make something happen and get some movement there. Henry Davis scores that run. Another run's added late, but overall, this is the Marlins. This is a team that I understand the records are kind of close, but I don't want to have to be a broken record every day. This team should be better than what their record is. And Miami, I'm not really sure. I don't know enough about them. I know that they're also a young team. I know that they have some pieces that are going to be on the move this deadline for sure. The right fielder Sanchez is probably on the move, but they've got some players that could make it somewhere, and they've got some that I don't think are going to. And so it's a mixed bag. They were swept by Colorado. That's probably their down, going to be the bottom of their season anyway. But this is a team that the Pirates should have went out and should have won a series against. And really, even the Mitch Keller game, if this offense shows up in the Mitch Keller game, I mean, you're talking about another sweep. So really good homestand for this team. And, I don't know how far this goes. They're 1 game over 500 under Donnie Kelly again. I don't know how far this goes, but they're at least a lot more fun to watch, and that's helpful for any fan, right? What else do you want? You're going to spend a summer with your ball team. You want it to be fun to watch. You don't want it to be terrible. And I know that a lot of people are incapable of removing those first 38 games. I know they're incapable of doing that, and they're going to look at that record and they're going to see it for what it is, and that's fine. That's why they play the games. That is what it is. That is their record. But moving forward, I mean, you still have a summer to enjoy, and this team's going to be fun to watch, I think. There was a move made today. The Pirates called up Carmen Mlodzinski, and Kyle Nicholas was optioned. And so they made an announcement, or they, made a whatever, they talked about it. Mlodzinski and Ashcraft essentially are in the same role right now, same type of role. It's going to be that bulk relief, long man type thing. Now, Ashcraft came into this game today. He hadn't given up a run yet, but he came into this game and did not look sharp. A hit, a walk, 2 walks rather, and kind of got himself into a jam that Dennis Santana was able to get him out of. And Ashcraft, a little bit of a struggle there, but was able to get out of it. He came in for Falter to relieve Falter, who only threw 71 pitches. So again, we have Falter coming out kind of early in the game. Don Kelly has been doing this, and I would have to imagine with Ashcraft and Mlodzinski both in this bulk reliever role, I don't know why we wouldn't see this more often going forward, where a guy is going to he's going to have a little quick hook knowing that he's got a reliever coming in that's going to finish that inning and then maybe give him 1 or 2 more if things are going well. It didn't go that well for Ashcraft, but for the most part, that's the plan for both of these guys to kind of be in that role. And the reason for that is because they're going to want to keep them throwing more pitches. They're going to want to keep them a little more stretched out. There's a chance that either one of them could find their way back in the rotation at some point, barring injuries or trades or anything like that could happen. You could see either one of these guys find their way back into the rotation. So to keep them stretched out would probably be something that is driving the reason to have them both do bulk relief right now. As we saw in the Skeens start, though, they're not going to be shy to use Ashcraft, I don't think, in some higher leverage spot for shorter outings. And before too long, if things are going well for Mlodzinski, and I think it's fair to say that we think they will. I mean, he was fine a time or two through the lineup. Maybe you see some of that from Carmen too. And so, when you look at this bullpen on paper right now, it's starting to look sneaky good, or maybe just very good. You got Bednar and Santana in the back. Bednar with another save today, another 2 strikeouts, and just before you look, guys, Bednar down to a 357 and looking like that's going to continue. He's been really good since coming back from AAA. But Bednar and Santana in the back, and I already said how good Santana was in his inning in a third today. Ferguson and Baraki are lefties in that middle relief today. Ferguson used in the 8th. I'm sorry, I keep saying today. I've been better at this, but anyway, yesterday used in the 8th inning because of Santana coming in to put that fire out early. And Sugar's really been the fireman to get out of jams, and so he's kind of in that middle, but maybe even like earlier for that fire. But Ferguson and Baraki middle relief. Matson has been really good lately in the middle relief as well, and so that's been something that's kind of been exciting. And Mlodzinski and Ashcraft for the bulk work. I mean, you're kind of, I know we've talked about Dowry Moretta a couple times on this show, and this kind of thing helps with patience for a guy like that. You can be patient and not have to rush him, make sure he's okay, make sure everything's working the way that you want it to work. And at some point, if Moretta's ready and you think there is a trade brewing, or we're getting close to that deadline, and there's one of the guys in Mlodzinski or Ashcraft that you want to stretch out, you absolutely could make that move, bring Moretta up, send one of those guys down to stretch out a little bit more to come back up for the rotation if that's what's needed. Obviously, you've got Bubba Chandler waiting. who had another rough outing today, just too many walks. He was taken out of the game early because of a pitch count. I think 4 walks in this one, maybe very early in this game. So Bubba's still working on some stuff, still working on commanding the strike zone. I mean, we know that the stuff is good enough to play at the major league level, but the consistency is maybe something that they're seeing right now that's not there. If you have a team who's not willing to chase, I didn't see the outing today, so I don't know if it was a matter of him not being willing, or about the team not being willing to chase some pitches and got him into trouble, or if he just didn't have the control in this one. So like I said, I didn't see it. I don't know. But from what you look up, I mean, sure, he's getting chases, but good pitchers are going to get chases. He's getting just as much swing and miss in the zone, which really shows that the stuff plays moving into the next level. He's not just relying on chases. The guys who just rely on the chase, you're not going to get as many chases at the major league level. So you know that's maybe not reliable. I don't want to make this a Chandler thing right now, but just, the idea that he's there, he's waiting, he's going to come up this season. Whether the walks are there or not, I think that you're going to see the move made and hopefully steps up big for the challenge. I think he's the kind of pitcher with that kind of pedigree that when the moment comes, he's going to step up and it's going to be good. So I just think a lot of this right now, what they're doing with this staff right now, I think a lot of it makes sense. And you can credit Donnie Kelly for that. You can say that Ben Sherrington is actually pushing the right buttons if that's what you want to do. I don't really care who's responsible for it. The thing is it looks good right now, and it makes sense right now. The bullpen's been strong. Starting pitching continues to be strong, and the offense is on the days that they're winning, they're doing just enough, and on the days that they're not, it's sometimes, borderline shutout every time. So the team's getting better, and I think that's pretty obvious to see. There's still a couple players away, though. They really are. It's not. That's all. I tried to run the numbers. I was talking to Douglas Smith one day, and we were talking about it, and he said, is it possible to get back to 500 as, just thinking about it, just like a thought exercise. So, I'm not sure, that'd be great. That's such a good team. That's such a good record. You're talking Detroit Tigers from last year, New York Mets from last year, although started at a little bit different place. But, are they capable of going on that run? I just don't know with this offense. It just doesn't seem like it. If you replace some players, could they? It just depends on how you're getting those players and who you're giving up to get them, and then what you have. Because I could see this team without an Andrew Heaney or even a Bailey Falter after the deadline or something like that. And if you do that, you're relying on one of the Ashcraft or Majinski every 5 days, and then Bubba coming up and kind of taking his path, whatever that might look like. He might have some adjustments to make or some bumps in the road or whatever, as a lot of young pitchers do. So we just don't know what that'll look like going forward. And obviously we're talking about, no injuries. And who's going to come up? Will we see both of Majinski and Ashcraft? Will we see, Burroughs right now is grinding his way through it all. Does Harrington end up having to do that? And how far does that go? Right. So it's tough to see. I don't even know how I got all the way here, but the point is the way things are going right now, it feels like they're doing what they can to win games day in and day out. And all it's going to rely on, for the most part, you're going to have a bullpen blow up every once in a while. Starting pitcher's going to give up 5 runs. Like that kind of thing's going to happen every once in a while. But on a consistent basis, it just matters on whether or not this offense is going to decide to show up. And that's it. That's all we have for today. I didn't have the schedule pulled up here. On our way to Chicago. And I didn't look up the pitching matchup for tonight. So I will right now. It is Jameson Taillon, Andrew Heaney. So here we go. Against the Cubs. This is a big run right here. We're on the road. We're going to Chicago for 4 games, big time series against the division leaders, and then Detroit for 3 games, which is going to be really exciting. That's another really good team. So a run of 7 games on the road against some really good teams. And, if you could come out of this thing over 500, my goodness, you have to feel good about your team right now. It doesn't get easier after that, but let's focus on Chicago right now. Day game on Friday. That'll be fun. Actually, 3 of the games are day games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all starting at 2:20 Eastern. But tonight's game, 8:05, a little bit later night here on a Thursday. But let's get things started off good, right? Let's get it started off good against the Cubbies. Thanks again, everybody, for listening every day. We'll be back tomorrow for the Friday show. Andrew McCutchen, 241. Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.